Have you ever noticed that your dog's seizures seem to happen after something specific, like a stressful day, a change in food, or even a big weather shift? You're not imagining things. Triggers play a big role in epilepsy management, and I want to walk through the most common ones and how to spot them in your own dog. If you're new here, I'm Mandy and my dog Ruby has epilepsy. This channel is all about sharing what I've learned over the last 8 years of caring for Ruby after her epilepsy diagnosis to help you feel confident and supported while caring for your dog with epilepsy. When Ruby, my golden retriever, was first diagnosed with epilepsy, I felt like seizures were coming out of nowhere. But over time, I started noticing patterns. And once you see those patterns, you can actually start to prepare for them and sometimes even prevent them. 1, stress. Dogs feel stress just like we do. And for some stress, it's powerful seizure trigger. It could be something obvious like a vet visit or fireworks, but sometimes it's subtle like changes in routine or even when their favorite person leaves for work. If you notice seizures tend to happen after stressful events, that's a sign stress could be playing a role. 2, diet and feeding changes. Diet isn't usually the cause of seizures, but changes in food, fasting too long, or even certain ingredients can sometimes tip a dog into having one. I've heard of pet parents who report that even giving a meal late made a difference. For Ruby, keeping a consistent feeding routine is just as important as her medication schedule. 3, environmental factors. Things like extreme heat, lack of sleep, or even storms and barometric pressure shifts can sometimes play a role. Sometimes families also notice patterns around hormonal cycles or seasonal changes. The key is, if you can track it, you can prepare for it. Now, here's the important part. Not every dog has the same triggers. That's why seizure tracking is so powerful. Once you connect the dots, you stop feeling helpless and start feeling like you have some control back. Here are some other possible triggers. Missed or late medications. Even a dose that's an hour late can sometimes trigger a seizure. Illness or infection, fevers, GI upset, or even a urinary tract infection can lower seizure threshold. Hormonal changes, so heat cycles in females or thyroid imbalances, can play a role. Sleep deprivation, skipping naps, disrupted nights, or restless sleep may contribute. Overexhaustion, very intense play, long heights, or overheating during exercise. Toxins or chemicals, so exposures to cleaning products, certain plants, chocolate, caffeine, xylitol, mold, or even lawn chemicals. Vaccinations or certain medications, rarely, but sometimes they can lower the seizure threshold, which is worth noting to a vet. Flashing lights or loud sounds similar to humans with photosensitive epilepsy, though much less uncommon in dogs. Weather barometric pressure changes, so storms, humidity changes, or heat waves. Routine disruptions, travel, boarding, new environments, or major changes at home. So how can someone prepare for these seizure triggers? 1 is by tracking everything. Use a seizure log or an app to record date, time, duration, and what was happening before. Over time, patterns emerge, like stress events, skipped meals, or storms. 2, plan for stressful events. If vet visits, grooming, or fireworks are triggers, try thunder shirts or setting up vet visits during a less busy time. And see if you can hire a groomer to come to you rather than you take your dog somewhere. Keep a consistent routine. Feed and medicate at the same times every day. Stick to their normal sleep schedule. Avoid big disruptions. Ruby thrives on routines, so I build them in wherever I can. It may sound funny, but she even has a bedtime routine. She gets a snack, goes outside for a final bathroom break, and then comes in straight to bed where she sleeps in our room. When that routine doesn't happen, she almost seems off and uneasy. So we keep it consistent and predictable, which equals a calmer dog. Create an emergency kit, rescue meds, so if prescribed by your vet, contact info, extra food and meds, and a copy of your emergency plan. Having this ready lowers your stress, which lowers their stress. And number 5, manage the environment. So avoid extreme heat or overexertion. Keep them away from known toxins like chocolate, mold, or lawn chemicals. If storms are a trigger, prepare a safe, quiet space with blankets and calming aids. 6, work with your vet. If you identify a trigger, tell your vet. They may have some great strategies that can help. One example of how it helped me to identify a possible trigger is when Ruby got her last rabies vaccination. I noticed something that stood out on her seizure tracker. Normally, her seizures come in clusters every 2 to 3 months, but that week she had seizures earlier than expected, right after the shot. Can't say for sure the vaccine caused it, but seeing that helped me prepare. Ruby is due for her next rabies vaccine soon, but we have a trip coming up. Because of what I noticed last time, I've decided to wait until after our trip to schedule her rabies shot, just in case it lowers her seizure threshold again. I would rather be here to help her through the seizures than have a pet sitter dealing with it. So identifying those possible seizures through tracking gave me the confidence to make a decision with her interests in mind. So here's a takeaway. You may not be able to stop seizures entirely, but preparation reduces the surprise factor and gives you confidence, and that confidence makes a huge difference in your dog's care and in your peace of mind. If you're just starting this journey, it can feel overwhelming. I know, I've been there. That's why I created my course, My Dog Was Diagnosed with Epilepsy. Now what? It walks you through the exact steps I wish someone would have told me on day 1, including how to track seizures and start spotting patterns like these. You don't have to figure this out alone. I'll put the link below if you'd like to check it out. So here's your action step. Grab a notebook or download a seizure tracker and start writing down when seizures happen and what was going on around that time. Over weeks and months, you'll start to see things you never noticed before. If you're interested in learning more, check out my course in the description below. Thanks for learning with me as I learn with Ruby.